Hello, welcome to this month's Viola's Flight Report, where we review what Vertical Aviation International is doing for you. I'm James Viola, President and CEO of VAI. In this month's edition of VFR, I will be discussing what VAI is doing to preserve and expand vertical aviation infrastructure, more specifically heliports and vertiports. I am sure you all know the definition of a heliport, an area designed for helicopter takeoffs and landings. Vertiport, on the other hand, is a relatively new term. It describes areas designed specifically for advanced air mobility, or AAM, aircraft to take off and land. In 2022, the FAA released an engineering brief that discusses design criteria for vertiports. It requires more stringent standards for eVTOL operations versus traditional rotorcraft, including requiring a larger physical footprint. The FAA says that these standards could be relaxed in time once regulators have a better handle on AAM aircraft performance. The bottom line is that future vertical aviation infrastructure will need to be designed to handle a diverse fleet, including eVTOL, cargo drones, and traditional helicopters. And that creates challenges for regulators, legislators, and industry. VAI is committed to supporting programs and securing funding for infrastructure by working with our industry partners, including our Advanced Air Mobility Industry Advisory Council. In November 2023, VAI issued an updated roadmap of advanced air mobility operations with near, mid, and far-term goals for AAM operations and infrastructure. The roadmap calls for expanding current airports, developing additional infrastructure standards and capacity, and building new vertiports. But the first step in meeting our goals for future vertical aviation infrastructure is to preserve and expand our existing infrastructure, specifically heliports. Most recently, the VAI Government Affairs team successfully fought legislation aimed at permanently closing the West 30th Street heliport in New York City. We argued that closing this 24/7 heliport with refueling capabilities would pose a threat to the local economy, add to airspace congestion, compromise healthcare transport, and hinder introduction of AAM in the region. VAI mobilized its members, like you, and industry allies to send legislators more than 96,000 emails expressing opposition to the closure. The legislators of New York State listened to their voters' strong opposition to the plan and amended the bill to preserve the heliport. The facility is now secured and operational for the foreseeable future. This success demonstrates the value of our team on the ground and the important role that you play as members when you respond to VAI's call about misguided policies that threaten vertical aviation. As we await the arrival of the AAM fleet, it is vital that we invest in and not dismantle our existing infrastructure. Fortunately, we do have examples of vertiports that have been successfully designed and constructed and are operational today. Located in downtown Chicago, Illinois, Vertiport Chicago is a 10-acre facility that includes ramp space for up to 4 vertical aircraft and a hangar space for 9 more. Last year, the Vertiport announced plans for scheduled eVTOL service to O'Hare International Airport beginning in 2025. VAI member Archer and United Airlines entered into an agreement to use Archer Midnight eVTOLs to ferry passengers from the Vertiport to one of the world's busiest airports. Taking the Midnight should cut the trip down to 10 minutes versus the typical hour-plus freeway crawl that cars and trucks must endure. And in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the Dallas Central Business District Vertiport is the only elevated public heliport in the region, offering more than 3 acres of concrete, 2 spacious helipads, and parking for 5 aircraft. Adjacent to a ground-level commuter rail and bus station, the Vertiport is located on a major highway to downtown Dallas and has direct access to the K. Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center, Dallas, one of the largest convention centers in the United States. This facility aligns with the vision of incorporating AAM aircraft as a central element in a transportation hub, moving people and cargo quickly in and out of densely populated cities. In the past, when it came to government investment, vertical aviation infrastructure has been short-changed compared with billions of dollars invested in airports. But times are changing. Ultimately, the billions of dollars and enthusiasm backing this new generation of eVTOL aircraft will benefit our entire industry. VAI's infrastructure efforts are guided by our Vertical Flight Infrastructure Sub-Working Group, which is actively engaging with international regulators to promote the harmonization of heliport and vertiport design standards, providing education and resources for stakeholders in the heliport and vertiport development and approval process, developing a model infrastructure protection ordinance for adoption by states and municipalities, and pushing for strict safety standards to keep people, aircraft, and equipment out of harm's way. With an expanding fleet taking to the skies, our industry is getting more attention and funding than ever before. VAI is here to ensure that all vertical aviation will benefit, because a future that provides every owner, operator, and pilot with the right resources is the future that makes sense for our entire industry. Well, that wraps up this month's edition of VFR. Please email me with your comments or your suggestions on how VAI can provide you with better service. Until next time, fly safe, stay safe, and keep powering up.